This video is the combustion setup for the 5-to-1 turn down on hydronic boilers or volume water heater. You will need a digital manometer and a combustion analyzer.
So for older models, you can check your incoming gas pressure here.
The newer models have a ball valve.
You will have to install the barb.
On each nameplate, you'll see the max gas pressure, which is 10.5 inches of water column. The minimum is 4 inch.
If we have greater than 10.5, shut off the gas supply and correct the incoming gas pressure.
Here, we are showing static pressure. When we fire and operate the boiler to full fire, we do not want to see greater than a 1-inch pressure drop.
High fire adjustments are right here. There's a little flathead screw. I'm using a little thermostat screwdriver. Counterclockwise increases, clockwise decreases. Low fire adjustment is right here on the gas valve. Using a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. To increase CO2 at low fire is counterclockwise rotation. To decrease, as shown on the valve, is clockwise rotation. To start, we need to log into the installer level password. So I'm going to come up, press the padlock symbol, type in 17, enter, and now we're in the installer level password.
If you are working on a boiler that was manufactured prior to July of 2022, you will need to have a call for heat or a TT demand. If also you're working on boilers that are cascaded prior to July of 2022, you will need to take them out of cascade. If you're working on a boiler manufactured after July of 2022, you will not need a TT demand or to remove it from cascade operation. We will be using the manual heat demand option. I'm also going to give it a higher set point. Example, we have a calculated set point of 140. So just to make sure we've got some runtime on the boilers, I'm just going to choose CH1, come to set point, and I'll back this out and type in example of 170, and I'll enter that. So now I've got a 170 degree set point. Next, what we'll do is we'll go to configure. Now we want to get into manual operation, and that's under firing rate. So we're going to choose firing rate, and here we have some options. So enable burner is in the disable position. I want to go to manual and run, and when I do manual, you'll see my manual heat demand will become available. So I'm going to choose manual. I can now go to manual heat demand and enable this. So anything prior to 2022, we will have to wire in a toggle switch. With the newer firmware, we don't have to. We can go to any boiler, give it a manual heat demand, and that boiler will fire for us. Now I also want to talk about timeout. If you choose timeout, this is defaulted for 1200 seconds. That's 20 minutes. I like to elevate that, giving us longer run times. So an example of that, I'll back that out, type in 3600. That gives us 1 hour to do the combustion test. And if we forget, and you walk away from the job, after 1 hour, it'll take it out of manual heat demand. So I'm going to come back to the home screen, and this is for a 5-to-1 model. I'm going to wait for the boiler to fire. Right now it's in pre-spark. I'm now in pilot ignition. I'm now into main ignition, and we're now running. So I'm going to come back to my configure option, back to firing rate, and now I can choose the firing rate tab. And again, a 5-to-1 model, low fire is 20% of fire, high fire is 100%. So I'm going to type in 100%, enter. It's going to ask if I want to save the change. I choose yes. I'm going to come back to my home screen, and you'll see your boiler starting to modulate. So now that we're at 100%, we'll go and check our analyzer. Here we're looking for 9% CO2 plus or minus 0.2. So if adjustments need to be made, we make them here on the gas valve. When we're done with high fire combustion, we're going to come back to configure, come back to firing rate, choose the firing rate option, and I'm going to back this out to low fire, which is 20% of modulation. Enter, save the change. I'll come back to the home screen and you'll see the boiler start modulating back. Wait till it gets to low fire. So here at low fire, we want to be around 8.7 or 8.75. So again, low fire adjustments are made on the valve. Once you're done with your low fire adjustment, we can now take it out of manual override. Again, go back to configure. I'm going to choose firing rates. I'm going to disable manual overrun, and that will also disable my manual heat demand. I'm going to come back to my home screen, and here I had changed my calculated set point. So if you did have to make any changes on your set point to get longer run times, go back in and bring that back to normal set point. In this example was 140 degrees. If you have any technical questions, please contact the factory at 1-800-900-9276.